A rail strike is one of the most disruptive and expensive things that can happen to an economy.
A rail shutdown or strike would disrupt supply chains.
A strike means food prices could skyrocket.
Many experts are saying would be an economic catastrophe.
That's right. Put up or shut up. If you can't vote for this, to give workers today who really have hard jobs, dangerous jobs, if you can't give them, you can't guarantee them paid sick leave, don't tell anybody that you stand with working families.
Earlier this year, we narrowly avoided a railroad strike that would have seriously dented our economy and American lives. But we're back, and senators have just days to pass a new agreement before the strike could start on December 9th. And what's at stake for the rail workers here? 7 paid sick days a year. That's it. That's what railroad workers are asking for. And as of today, the Biden administration, a so-called pro-worker administration, punted the agreement to Congress and heavily recommended that they forego the demands for the 7 days of sick leave. Okay, so it's a little confusing because there are 2 bills that the House is voting on in terms of the rail strike. One was supported by the Biden administration and the executive branch that did not include the 7 days of sick leave. That one passed with flying colors through the House and is now going to be voted on by the Senate. So that's the one that the Biden administration is pushing. Per the AP, the legislation urged by Biden and being voted on today in the House that passed would impose a compromise labor agreement brokered by his administration that was ultimately voted down by 4 of the 12 unions that represent about 115,000 workers at the freight railroads. So rail workers are generally guaranteed 0 days of sick time. That's right, 0. In a very physically demanding job. But by the mainstream media's coverage of it, you'd think they were asking for paid vacations to a luxury beach resort 5 times a year. Firing a worker because they are sick and can't come to work is ludicrous and immoral, and if Biden thinks that he can just skirt past this issue and sail on the good headwinds from the midterms, he is sorely mistaken. Because look who's set to outflank him in terms of protecting workers. Marco Rubio, Josh Hawley, and Ted Cruz. Yep, that's right, the most right-wing senators are stepping up and showing signs that they are supportive of Bernie Sanders' amendment to allow these 6-day provisions once the bill gets to the Senate in a show of bipartisanship that I think is great for the country and bad for the Biden administration. Let's be clear, these senators do not represent the interests of the working class. Here's Kim Kelly, an incredible labor reporter, spelling out clearly what the stakes are should these Republicans support the amendment. She asks, does Biden world not realize that by very publicly trying to break the rail strike, they just gift-wrapped an opportunity for wealthy Republican creeps to cosplay as the working class again? And this isn't the only issue Republicans are coming in hot on in terms of championing workers' rights.
Social media companies get liability protection, and yet they turn around and they use that protection to marginalize voices they disagree with. So I think from the congressional perspective, though, they need to look at antitrust with these massive companies because they are exercising massive amounts of power over our society.
Among all of the Trump antics and electoral tea leaves we cover, it's crucial that we focus enough time on labor rights, worker protections, and the monopolization of business. Because if we don't focus on them from a progressive standpoint, we will fall behind these Republicans in things from the rail strike to breaking up big tech. As Bernie said, the rail industry is explosively profitable, and the workers that allow it to exist are being exploited. And until the rail workers get the contract they deserve, all our eyes must stay on this fight. So this will obviously be changing rapidly within the next few days and weeks, so definitely keep tuned to my channel because I'll be covering it all the way through. Thanks so much for watching. You can follow me on all platforms at Caro Johnson 917.